Welcome to Your Limitless Life, the podcast where creativity meets transformation. I'm Jane Bellante, artist, coach, and entrepreneur, here to help you let go of fear, embrace your power, and create the life and business you've always dreamed of. Each week, we'll explore the tools and stories that inspire growth and action. If you're ready to break free and live your limitless life, you're in the right place. Now let's begin. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Your Limitless Life podcast. I am your host, Jane Bellante, and I am absolutely thrilled to welcome Royce Hunt Bell, owner and founder of Royce Cycled, to the podcast today. Royce is a powerhouse in the creative business world, known for her innovative designs, upcycled projects, and beautiful decoupage papers that have inspired makers and artists everywhere. Through Royce Cycled, she's built a thriving brand that embraces creativity, individuality, and the art of transformation. But like many creatives, Royce has had to navigate the challenges of perfectionism. In this episode, we will hear how she's overcome those struggles, embraced imperfection, and learned to trust her process. Lessons that have helped her not only grow her business, but also connect more authentically to her customers and herself. So without further ado, let's get started. All right. So welcome to the Your Limitless Life podcast, Royce Hunt.
Hello. How are you guys? Or how are you this afternoon? My voice is still a little weird because I'm getting over being sick, but I think I can project enough for you to be able to hear me, hopefully. And I got my tea, so
You do in the best Royce Cycled mug ever.
I know. I love these huge mugs. I think this is like 2 cups of coffee in one mug.
You know what's so funny is I almost wore that shirt. We would have been twins.
Oh, the junk drunk one? Don't blame me. I was junk drunk. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
It is the most comfortable shirt. I love it so much.
I wanted them to be like, soft and you know what I'm saying, the wearable shirts, not those stiff ones.
No, they're so good.
Yeah.
So anyways, I digress. Thank you so much for being here. I've wanted to have you on for a long time, and I do think that the topic for February, which is perfectionism, is going to be such a good conversation with you. Just knowing you for as long as I have, we figured what it was like 2017, 2018, something like that.
Somewhere in there. I don't know. Girl, it could have been 5 months ago. It could have been 5 years ago. It all feels the same to me.
I know.
It wasn't 5 months, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Time goes by so fast. It's weird right now. Yeah.
So in the time that I've known you, you didn't have this brand that you have now. You did not have this business that you had now. You had some decoupage papers on Zazzle. And I think that was the first actual conversation that we had together, was you calling me and asking me if I would be willing to use some of your decoupage papers in my work. And I was mostly a furniture painter at that time.
I think we both were at that time, right?
Yeah. I mean, I've been a mixed media artist for over 30 years, but at that time I was really killing it with furniture. Yeah.
That's when you could get a piece for like $15 at the thrift store. Those days are gone.
Yeah. I mean, my pieces were selling, honest to God, if they didn't sell in 10 minutes, I would be like, this one isn't going to sell.
Yeah. It's true.
It was nuts. That was like the first time we ever spoke. And then I watched you really be brave and create this company. And then I watched you resign from your big girl job.
Yeah, it's been 4 years already. And I was in your group too, remember, for your brand building and business group, because I think that was around the time I'd started my business and I was looking for information. Because I just started. I didn't know what I was doing.
Right. None of us
started. I'll figure it out as I go,
And figure it out you have, and now you've got this beautiful business that is ever evolving. So, I mean, we're talking about perfectionism this month. So I think that one of the questions I have for you is, how do you stop yourself? Because you're doing launches once a quarter?
That's our goal once a quarter. It sounds like it's far apart, but it really isn't because like
No, it's fast.
it's fast.
Yeah.
We're in the middle of a launch to the retailers right now. We'll be doing a public launch next week. And of course, I'm already halfway through my designs for our next launch. So, it sounds
Yeah.
like it's far apart, but
Right.
it's pretty continual. Yeah.
So, how do you stop yourself from really overthinking the design? Because you do design the majority of your decoupage
I
papers.
do.
So,
I
how
do.
do you stop yourself from saying, oh my God, this isn't perfect? Or how do you just like release it and it's no longer yours, it's the rest of the world's?
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
My poor husband has to live with me, and this is what it looks like. Okay. I have like I'm always generating ideas. Jane, you know me. Like I am generating all the time. I even have a little booklet in my purse and I have my notes on my phone. So I'm always writing things because I'm inspired by so many different things. So I'm always generating ideas. I write them down. And when I get ready to work on designs, I'll go through that list and I'll start working and then I'll generate more designs. It's absolute chaos. Um, and it's agonizing. I'll be honest with you. It's agonizing. And David has to live with me while I'll make a design. And then I always generally have too many designs. Now I have to narrow down, which ones I'm actually going to use. And then is this going to be good enough? And are people going to like it? I would love to say that I'm like this wonderful, confident person who just makes it and puts it out there, but I'd be lying.
Well, and that's why I knew this would be a really good conversation because, the majority of the people that listen to this podcast are creative business owners.
Yeah.
And we tend to overthink things to death so that we actually never put anything out or we never start what we want to start. And so there is a process for you because you actually do release the designs,
Yes, I
right?
know, right? So I mean, I agonize over them, and then there's something happens. Like once I make the decision, like it's almost like once I decide, then I'm fine.
It's just
And it's kind of like whatever is just is from that point, and we'll just have to see. And then David, my husband, is so wonderful because I'm the crazy person in this relationship. Just so we're
yeah,
clear.
I never would.
He'll say to me like, given the history, of your launches, I think it's fair to say you don't have anything to worry about. Not that everything I've done has been super successful, but I've never designed anything that people were like, "Oh my God, that's horrible."
Yeah.
Right? So history tells me that, my gut is pretty accurate. So he just reminds me of that. And when I'm in my crazy mode, he'll just say something like, "This is just your process. You'll be fine." And so I have this kind of voice of reason here.
Yeah.
That kind of keeps me grounded through the process. But and for me, it's not really about perfection. It's interesting, Jane. So I'm going to tell you two stories that are pertinent, I promise. So one is that I had started my business and it was a side hustle, right? And it had grown and I was in this like limbo place of because I had to choose. Like I wasn't doing a good job at either at my business or at work. And I lost my mom 4 years ago in October. And for some reason, that put things in perspective for me.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, I guess, I mean, you say for some reason, but that's
well,
pretty clear. Yeah.
right? It's like, am I going to give this a real go, or am I going to wonder for the rest of my life what would have happened
Yeah.
if I had not bet on myself, right? And so I bet on myself. I gave my board like, I was a director of a nonprofit. I gave them a 6-month notice that I would be doing this full time. So in that time, I understood that there were going to have to be some shifts in the way I did things if this was going to work, because it had to replace. Whenever you're thinking about leaving work, I didn't just like jump off of a cliff and hope that things were going to work out. David and I sat down and okay, what are our household expenses? How much do I need to make in order for us to be okay? What expenses can we kind of address in these 6 months? Pay off one of the cars.
Right.
Um, I had gotten like my little shed in the back, for my workshop. And so I set up a payment plan for myself and how I could get that paid off. So we wouldn't have so we eliminated some expenses, understanding that we didn't know what was really going to happen with the business. So all these things. And all that was important, but probably the most important thing that I did the year that I decided to do this business full time was I told myself, done is better than perfect. And that was my mantra. That was my mantra for that year. And I'm going to tell you that my business propelled so quickly, because I just, done is better than perfect. Done is better than perfect. Because had I done the thing where, you have the spinning wheel and you're waiting, I would have probably, I probably would have found another job.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying is the majority of the people that really want to create the business of their dreams, they just, they don't do it.
Yeah.
It's not perfect yet, and my thing is always to say 70% is perfect, 100% is overthought. And if you don't put it out there, you'll never know.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And I fumbled and I stumbled and, I'm saying I'm fumbling in the dark. I would love to say that I had a 5-year business plan and no.
We don't do stuff like that. No.
No.
What's a business plan? Yeah.
I knew what I wanted my business to be. Like I could see at the end what I wanted, right? I had
Mhm.
a vision for my business, but I didn't have all the pieces for how to get there. And so, I paid for information
Yeah.
and I implemented things and okay, that's it. This part works, but this part doesn't. So, you pivot and you
Yeah.
make corrections as you go, but the whole time you're moving forward.
Right.
Even when you're stumbling,
Yes.
you're still stumbling
I
forward.
always equate that to like the archer's arrow, and it's aiming for the bullseye, and the arrow might be like, then finally get to the bullseye, but you never lose the vision,
Yes.
but being open to possibility too, because you don't know what's going to happen.
Mhm.
And also like the learning that you do when you do fail or when
Yeah.
something doesn't go exactly as you thought it would go, like not laying down and dying, but learning from it and going, okay, you just use the word pivot. Like, how am I going to pivot here and rebirth this, whatever, this idea, this dream?
And coming to the realization too, I think when I started, I thought, um, it will be like this for a little while, but eventually I'll get to a place where my business will be like stable and I'll just be able to cruise. That has not happened yet. But I do believe that I, I do think there's a difference between being a business owner and being an entrepreneur. And I think that being malleable, um, is a big difference. So for me, like, do I have a plan for my business? Absolutely. I have an annual plan. I have goals that I set for my plan. I have all these things in place, but I am never shut off from opportunities, or I'm never so completely focused on my end goals that I don't see a door that opens or a window that opens. You
Possibility.
kind of have to be open to those things. It's hard though, because I am neurodivergent. Like I was just talking to my OBM right now, and I'm redoing my website, and we did a flow chart for the website. And I told her, I was like, can you go through and make like each course a different color? Because when I open that document and I see all those boxes, I'm done. I cannot, like I recognize my weaknesses, but so I have to have like all these things in place for me to stay focused and to be able to do the business side. But I do think that it also makes me open to like experimentation, or just being open to consideration of different things. And I don't know. It's a balance though, because I can't go after all the shiny things because then I cause problems for myself. But
I get that. And I know that everybody listening gets that too, because we're always the shiny object syndrome, or the squirrel. Like we
Yeah.
want to, we want to do everything. Oh my God, I love that. I want to make that. And oh, maybe I should go do this. And yeah, it's hard.
Yeah. I have a business coach and she's like, Royce, stay in your lane. Like, because I'll have ideas that have nothing to do with my brand or my business. Like, it's like they're good ideas, right?
Do you know what your human design is?
I don't. You know what? I went to the thing, you sent me to the thing, and
Oh,
they wanted to know what time I was born,
yeah.
and that's not on my birth certificate.
Oh, it's not?
No.
I bet you're a manifesting generator. I bet. I'd put money on it.
And so, yeah, I did go through the exercise because I wanted to know, like, because it is
Oh my gosh, it is the most interesting thing ever. It is just mind blowing.
Yeah, but I'm guessing you're probably right.
Yeah. Well, and I'm a manifesting generator, so I know quite a bit about it now. I've really gotten into it,
A deep dive to see what that is.
Right. And it's the same thing with me. And like the one thing that Jaji, who's been on the podcast before, and I'm actually doing a big retreat with in June. She told me that my mantra needs to be, let me sleep on that. And that's probably a word for you too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, let's do it. And I'll get really excited about it. And then I'll be like, oh my God, I don't have room for that right now. Why did I say yes to that? Or what am I doing?
Yeah. I'm telling you, David is my like, and that's what he'll tell me. He won't say don't do it. He's like, you know what? Let's just table that for right now and we'll circle back to it. Cause he knows, like, I may never think of it again. Or I'll circle back to it and we'll do it, one of the two. Yeah. But yeah, it's the whole idea of waiting a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's circle back to that. Let's think about that. Let's circle back to that. Yeah. It's funny, but it's true though. It's just like it's like my Amazon basket, right? I'll put something in there, but I won't buy it. I'll let it sit in there for a couple of days and decide if I really need it.
Yeah.
It's usually art supplies too, by the way.
Same.
But yeah, I'm always thinking of ideas. And I don't know why. I guess it's just how we're made, right? Because to me, if I can see it, which usually I can because I'm very visual, then I will be brave enough to do it. But I will tell you, so we did a major reorganization of Royce Cycled. I have a warehouse now.
Yeah.
So, completely different business model. I don't even think I've ever been in a warehouse before. Like, my experience with warehousing is like nil.
Yeah.
And so at the fourth quarter of 2013, I was stuck, Jane.
2023.
23, yeah. I was stuck. And I mean stuck. Because even though, we talk about, done is better than perfect, and I'm able to move forward really, it's usually because I can see the vision at the end. Mm-hmm. This is the first time that I had to act on something and I had no vision for it.
So jump in the net will appear.
Yes. I knew what I wanted, but like all of the logistical details of how I was going to make it happen was not clear for me at all.
So how did you work through that? What did you do? Because that is like analysis paralysis, right? So yes. And you can't allow yourself to stay there in your business if you actually want to keep
be able to move forward. Yeah. And so for me, like I knew enough about what I wanted that I knew some of the steps. I think sometimes when we're in analysis paralysis, we're trying to gather all the data and have everything laid out before we take action, right? I had to say to myself every single day, what are 3 things that I can do today, no matter how small, that are going to move me forward towards my end goal? And some days it would be something as little as going through, I remember, because I built my site on Shopify, I moved that was part of our we moved everything.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to go on Shopify today and I'm going to do all my listings. That was like literally one of the things on my list, something that small. Yeah, these were like small incremental steps.
Yeah.
That I could do every day, that as long as it moved me forward, I count it as a win. And that was part of
Yeah. And then you have evidence to fall back on that you, in fact, can move forward and you don't have to be stuck.
Yes. And so then you look up, and a month has passed and 2 months have passed, and you look back and you have indeed moved quite a bit a ways forward, right?
Yeah.
And so that's how I was able to move forward out of that. It was incrementally. And I mean,
that's really, really, really good advice.
And you think, oh yeah, like that stuff is really going to make a big difference. But and like you said, you do the little things, and of course they add up, right? It's like saving money.
Yeah.
But you also gain confidence in your ability to do the things, because all those little things do add up to larger things.
Yeah.
And so you're able to move forward, and then more confidence you get, the larger things you can take on, and the bigger wins you're claiming, and then that gives you more confidence, and so you're able to move forward faster. And so, but it's like pushing a car. It's like pushing a car. Look, I'm old. I remember I had a Nissan.
We're the same age.
Right? Well, because some younger people maybe listen. We had a Nissan, my best friend, my roommate, my best friend, she had a Nissan Sentra, and it wouldn't start. So we had to like pop the clutch every time we got ready to go somewhere. So you're like pushing the car, in the beginning, it's moving really, really slow, right?
Mhm.
But you build up enough momentum and you get that car going, you hop in, you pop that clutch, and you're driving. And that was essentially what I was able to do. Those small incremental steps, getting those things done, building up enough momentum, to build up enough confidence to take on the bigger things, to get moving forward. And I think if I had stayed stuck and stayed in paralysis, I would have shut down my business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that because it is foundational. You don't even like, even if you're just taking those little baby steps, you might, like you said, you might not even realize it. And then you look back a month or two later and you're like, okay, this is great. And that's foundational, and that does build confidence.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that a lot of the reason why people sit in perfectionism is because they aren't actually confident that they can create what it is that they want to create, whether that's art or a creative business.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, we're harder on ourselves than anybody else.
Yeah.
It's funny because I give other people really good advice, but I'll tell my friends, like, if somebody else spoke to you the way you speak to yourself, you would be so upset. If somebody else spoke to your good friend, let's say you had a best friend, and you heard them speaking to your friend the way you speak to yourself, you would be so upset with them.
Right.
You would be so upset with them, and you would be prepared to stand there and correct them and tell them not to be speaking to your friend that way.
Right.
But we will use those words with ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We try to shame ourselves into being better,
and it doesn't work.
And it does not work. It does not work. And you know me, I talk about that all the time, and I talk about it really from my own perspective because really that's all I know. But it is wild to understand how we hold ourselves back. And perfectionism, one of the things that I say all the time is people wear it like a badge of honor. Like, I'm a perfectionist. And I just want to be like, do you know that's not a good thing? That's not a good thing.
I think it's a shield though, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's a shield, because if I say I'm a perfectionist, like, who's going to argue that that's a bad thing? But I can use it as for me, my I don't know what we want to call it. I will put shit off forever. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Right? I will find a reason to procrastinate. Like, that's my thing. That is my Achilles tendon. I know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think we all have one. And we can
100%.
justify it.
Yeah.
I mean, because we couldn't justify it, we wouldn't do it, right?
Right.
And so I think perfectionism is the same. Perfectionism.
It 100% is, and all of it stems back to self-worth. Every bit of it. Those are symptoms of self-worth. Yeah. And so we allow it because we are comfortable feeling unworthy.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's how we felt all this time.
Right.
So even if it's not good, it's still familiar and it's comfortable.
Right. And it makes us feel like we're in control when we all know that we're actually never in
I like
control of
being in
anything.
control, Jane. I like it a lot.
I know. I know.
I really, really like it. Um, I know. I who was it? Somebody, oh, let me think about it so I don't get it wrong. And basically she was saying that when we sabotage ourselves, we're taking control of our outcome. Like how sad is that to think about?
Well, yeah. I mean, we're failing first is what we're doing.
Yeah, but we have control over that
Hmm.
failure. So we feel
Yeah.
better
Right.
about it.
No, it doesn't make any sense when you look at it like that. You're like, what?
No. But by setting ourselves up for failure, we're controlling the outcome. And it's
Yeah.
absolute madness. It's absolute madness, but we do it,
Yeah.
and I struggle with it's and you and I have talked about this before. I
Yeah.
think part of the reason why I was so stuck in 2023 too was because I have done so much work around these things. And I thought I had overcome all the stuff. And so I'm like, part of it is I'm like asking myself, like, Chris, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
you've done this. Beef. You've already done this. You've been through this. Like, you know what you, and even knowing, and it's like watching yourself, knowing full well what you need to do, and you're still freaking stuck.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's madness.
Well, I mean, it's an actual function in your brain. It's a neural pathway and it's repeated so many times and that doesn't go away. You can't go have it like surgically removed, you know. You have to build you have to build the habits. You have to be committed. And, it's super easy for us to just be like, I don't feel like walking on my treadmill today, so I'm not going to do it. So it's
Yeah.
very easy, and that's why it's very, very difficult to build new habits. But I think understanding that you're doing it and having the awareness, that is the first step. And then you can decide whether you're going to allow it or not. And we'll allow it. Like, I'm not going to walk on that treadmill today and I'm not going to feel bad about it. Right. So we'll allow that.
Yes.
And then we walk past ourselves and go, darn, I should have, I ate 2 cookies today. I probably should have gone on the treadmill or whatever, using
Yeah.
an easy analogy, but it is the awareness. And I think, when you're not aware, it's super easy to just stay in your pattern over and over and over because you're not aware of it, right? So one of the things that you do is you teach people how to decoupage, right? And how to create layers in their art. And I know that a lot of people they're afraid to start. They're afraid to even do that. And so what advice do you have for them to like step out of I mean, that's another analysis paralysis. Like they're overthinking. They think if I try this and if I take this paper, this beautiful Royce paper, and I put it down and I ruin it, if it isn't perfect, I'm going to ruin it and then I will have wasted it. So like, what do you say to that?
So my best friend, we've been best friends since high school. She would always say, I'm not creative. I'm not creative. I'm not creative. And then as we have gotten older and more self-aware, um, it's so funny because she's like, Royce, I realize it's not that I'm not creative. She goes, and she literally, we're so opposite. It's insane. It's insane. Um, when she would come to my office, she would wait for me in the lobby because she could not take my desk. Because if you go to her office, everything has a place and her inbox is empty, right? And if there's a paper in that inbox, it drives her crazy because it needs to not be taken care of. Like that's her personality type.
Of that.
So she literally is like super orderly and she likes perfection. And so being creative is scary for her, but
Mhm.
it requires her to try something that she may not be good at. Or
Right.
it requires her to kind of put herself out there in a way um, and this is her talking. She's like, so it's not that I'm not creative. I'm just afraid of failing. I'm afraid of not being good. And I think that for a lot of people who want to step out and be creative, I would say allow yourself or give yourself permission to play and experiment.
Hmm. That's my number one
Because
advice too.
that's where the growth happens, anyways.
Mhm.
Honestly, it's not going to be in your making something and having it be perfect. I mean, you'll do that and that'll be wonderful. But any creative growth that you have is going to come from your making a mistake and then figuring out how to fix it, or working your way around it, or even claiming the mistake and
Oh,
liking it better, right? Because that
yeah.
happens sometimes.
Right.
So, you know that I've started my like fine art journey, or my art journey. I'm not gonna say fine art, my art journey. And so I guess I like battling myself, because every time I get comfortable, I just, find something else to fight with myself about. Um, and so I'm here again. And so I have to remind myself every single day, Royce, you have to just do the thing. And for me, my mantra right now is to just have the courage to be bad at something long enough to be good. Like that's just
Yeah.
um and so all of it is play, and all of it is experimental, and all of it's learning, and none of it counts.
Yeah.
And so I think regardless of where you are in your creative journey, like that's the message,
Hmm.
right?
I agree. We, as adults, we forget what it means to play.
Yeah.
When we were little, we weren't choosing, exactly, I'm going to use this stuffed animal and this stuffed animal. And then if they don't do this, then it's not going to be perfect. We never said stuff like that. We just did. We just went and did stuff. And that is like, that's how you become a better artist, is you make mistakes, you figure out what you don't love, and you figure out what you do love. And then you keep doing more of that.
Yeah. And it's how you find your voice too, your artistic voice.
Yeah.
You start off, replicating what other people are doing, but then it's through that process of play, and mistakes. You know what I'm saying? There'll be catastrophes. I'm not gonna lie to you. There may
Oh,
be
100%.
catastrophes, but like you're gonna find your own voice through the practice of experiencing those things.
Hmm.
And like you said, you'll figure out, I like this medium. I only care for that medium. I like this. I don't like that. I like bright colors. I mean, but you're not gonna know.
And you'll
And
have happy accidents.
yes.
Will, like, oh my gosh, I remember one time I was using the distress oxide sprays, and then I didn't know much about them, right? I didn't know that they were a dye and pigment base. I knew nothing. Right? I was just playing, and then I went and put some paint on top of it, and I thought the paint would cover it up, but because it was dye, it came through, and it actually looked super cool. And I was like, I did not expect that, and so now that's a thing that I do.
Exactly.
It's cool.
When I was like back in the day when I was painting furniture, one of my most popular finishes was literally a mistake. I had finished painting a piece. This is before I started using any of the boutique brands. And I had some, the clear Rust-Oleum,
Hmm.
and I was going to spray it over my piece to seal it. And someone had put the clear top on a blue can of paint.
Oh.
And so I went, and it's blue.
Oh no.
I'm done with this piece. I'm done. I'm finished. I'm just going to seal it.
Oh.
And so I like pick up something, and I'm like trying to wipe it away really quickly. And I'm like literally in tears. Like, this is a commission piece.
Oh my gosh.
And then I was kind of like, oh, that's kind of cool. So then I took some brown glaze, and I did that, and I did that, and my customer loved it. And I think I did 2 more pieces for her in that finish. And I'm not even kidding you. Like, I had people ask for that finish, and it was a complete mistake. It was a complete mistake. I would have never done that. I would have never even done that. And so, yeah, sometimes it works out good. Not always.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to start from scratch, but you learn from that. Whenever you guys hear me saying, make sure or when you do this, you want to make sure, it's usually because I learned, because I did that.
Don't ask me how I know this, but
Right? You want to make sure that you don't ABC, because then EFG will happen. It's
yeah,
because I've done that and I've made that mistake, right?
right.
But I think that's all part of the process. It's all part of the process. I was taking this course, and the lady has her kids do like her background painting for her, and then she does her work over the top of it. So I sit down with my grandson, and I just tape some papers to the table, and I try to control him. Right? I'm like, I give him like red, yellow, and orange. I'm like, okay, I won't end up with mud this way. It'll
Yeah.
all be like red. And he's like, Grandma, I need black. I'm like, why? Why do you need black?
You don't want to put that in there.
No, but he knows what he wants to do. So we're both working on these backgrounds, and they're supposed to be, just whatever. And we get done, and his is so expressive, like the energy, and mine, you could tell, like there's hesitation,
Mm-hmm.
there's fear, there's like I'm overthinking it, and um, it's interesting because one of my goals is to find that place,
Mm.
right? Where I can be fearless and just be expressive.
See, that's totally where I'm at, like in my art journal. Like I don't, I, that's where I'm completely free. And actually, it's now spilled over into everything that I do, And
Yeah,
like, so like this piece that's next to me, with the flowers here, I've been working on that for years and it's not done. And I have it hanging up, and if
yeah,
I get inspiration, I'll just go work on it. So yeah, I think though it takes the play and it takes the exploration to let yourself get there.
it really does. And
Yeah.
so you literally have to let go of the perfectionism in order to move past it, which is hard, right? I
Yeah.
mean, like you have to let go of the thing that you're hanging on in order to get past it. It's almost like an oxymoron a little bit, but
Yeah. Oddly enough, I have a free class called Letting Go.
yes,
It actually does help people let go of perfectionism. It really
yeah,
does. It's pretty amazing. It's and now hundreds of people have gone through it now. And so now I really have data to be like, you know what? If you
it,
actually do this, it helps you a ton. A ton.
yeah.
Yeah. And so now I'm giving it away for free because it helps so much.
And honestly, like you said earlier, identifying, because so much of who we are, I feel like there are moments in your life where your brain like takes note, right?
Oh, uh-huh.
Whether you're conscious of it or not,
Yeah.
your brain is like taking note in that moment, and we hang on to that moment,
Hmm.
and it impacts like how we think, the choices that we make, how we see ourselves, how we see other people. And without doing the work to identify those moments, you're held captive.
Oh, yeah.
You're held captive. And I do think that you have to be deliberate, and kind of addressing those things and taking your inventory and figuring out, and um, I laugh because I feel like the thing that you judge other people the harshest for is probably the thing that's
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
you don't like about yourself.
Right. Yeah. That's, they say that about triggers. When somebody triggers you, it's you've actually something inside yourself is
Oh yeah,
connecting with that.
for some reason. Because
Yeah.
someone would say, Royce, you're just greedy. And I'll be like, whatever. Like, I don't, that's not my thing, right?
Right.
But somebody might say, I'm trying to think of what somebody could say to me. But there are other things that somebody could say to me, and I'll be thinking about it for like a month. They've forgotten the whole
Right.
conversation. I'm laying in
Yeah.
bed at 2 a.m. thinking about this thing that they said to me and making
Right.
up a conversation about what I'm going to tell them the next time I see them. And
Mhm.
why?
That's
Why?
totally reminding me of a story about two monks, and it's like they're not supposed to touch a female or something. And the elder, more wiser monk helped her over like a river. And the other monk was like, oh my God, just really freaking out about it. And the elder says, oh, you're still thinking about that? I put that down a long time ago.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yes. It's true. And other people like to hold on to things for you. And I think that when you start a journey in healing, like you have to be prepared for that.
Mhm.
Because and I don't think people are being like mean or malicious. They've just built an avatar for who you are,
Yeah. Right.
right? And so when you start behaving differently, it's disruptive for them.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
so they want to remind you, like, hey, 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 no, really, this is who you are. Remember?
Yeah.
You remember?
Yeah. Right.
You know,
Yeah.
it's like, no, that person is no longer exists anymore,
Mhm.
Um, but you have to be prepared for that because they're going to remind you, and there's a level of expectation, from people around you when you start like making changes, and and growing.
Yeah.
But that's their issue, not yours.
Right, exactly.
Just saying.
So I'm so excited because you invited me to be a teacher at your retreat coming up this April.
Yes,
And
April
I want to talk about
24th,
that a little bit. So it's April 24th through the
7th.
27th.
Yes. So it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, well, Thursday night, meet and greet, Friday, Saturday, creating community, good food, fun, all the things, half a day Sunday, and then, travel time on Sunday for the second half of the day. So I am so excited. One of the things I did at our chamber meeting last night was I hit up 2 business owners because I'm hitting everybody up for coupons. I'm like, if somebody comes in with a Royce Cycle lanyard, like, what are you ready to offer them?
Oh, I love it. Yes.
Right? Seriously. And
Right.
because I live in a small community, like, it's wonderful. We have so many locally owned like restaurants and businesses, and we're a community here. So I feel like I'm hosting you guys, but like the whole community is really going to be hosting you guys.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that.
So we're going to come in, we're going to have the VIP night, but then on Friday, I'm going to take everybody through a little bit of a mindset journey. And one of the things that you would like people to walk out of this retreat with is the knowledge that they can do it. So you want them to kind of walk out with something that they would have said, I never thought I would be able to make this.
Exactly. Exactly. Because I recognize the power of that, right? Because you get confidence about that thing. And like you said earlier, working in your art journal and kind of shifting, your mindset around your creating has spilled over into other areas of your life, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so I had somebody message me and she's like, what are we going to be doing? And it's like, I'm not going to tell you guys because I know as soon as I tell you what we're going to do, you're going to say, I can't do that.
Right. Yeah.
And so we're going to go through the process together.
Yay.
Yeah, but we're going to start off with mindset though, because I think it's important that we not limit ourselves.
Yeah. It's the most important thing.
Yeah.
And you are creating stencils and papers
We'll have
specifically for the retreat. Like
yes.
you can't get them unless you come.
Yes. Yes.
That's really exciting too.
I'm excited. I mean, I've changed my mind 50 million times. Now I have to make a decision. So
It's coming up. It's coming up.
I know. No, I'm like to the point where I told you my whole process, right? So
Yeah.
I've made more than I need. Now I got to narrow it down and figure out exactly what I'm going to use. And once I make the decision, I'll be fine. But, until then, I'll just, I'll agonize over it. But it'll be
all going to come together. It's all going to
it'll all come together. It's going to be so good.
Well, and then there's a festival going on in your community at the same time. So in the evening, you don't have to come, but you are going to have a table, a tent, especially for us.
We have dedicated space for us.
And
And
music.
so it's art, wine, and history. It's a spring festival, and the highlight is art, wine, and history. And yeah, there'll be live music that night. There'll be food trucks. And we'll have our seat. I got us close enough to the stage where we can see, but not so close where it's too loud.
We can't talk. Yeah. What? I can't hear you.
Exactly. Yeah. So if you want to come, you're welcome to come. I know a lot of the ladies are bringing in spouses and, family. They are welcome to join us. Or if you want to go explore the community, you can. I was just got off the phone with my OBM, and we're actually making a series. Like we're going to have a landing page, like things to do. And if you click it, it takes you to a page with things to do with live links so they can look at that. And restaurants and, I don't know. I want to make sure that people feel supported when they come here. And they'll have that on their phones. We'll have the QR codes everywhere where they can go and access that page and find things to do in town. So if you find something else really fun to do, that's fine. But if you want to hang out, I'll be dancing. You can come dance with me. Live music. I know, right? We'll have wineries there. They'll be doing tastings. And so it's our spring festival. And I planned it on this weekend on purpose.
Yeah.
Because I really wanted to create an experience for everyone who comes. The space that we're going to be in is completely accessible That's really, really important to me for people to be able to move around in a space, whether they have a cane or a walker or whatever have, that they can use the restrooms without any problems. The space is fabulous. It's gorgeous.
It is.
All the supplies are gonna be. You don't have to bring anything. You'll get your apron and your swag bag.
Yes, you want to.
I mean, if you want to bring, you can, but like we're gonna have paints and
Right.
brushes and stencils and paper, and we're gonna
Mhm.
have all the things there, so you don't have to bring anything, but you can if you want to.
Yeah.
I'm super excited. I'm excited to host everyone, and for me, I am outsourcing like every part of my retreat because I want to be present,
Yeah.
and available to like really hang out. And I don't
Connect.
know. I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm so
It's
excited. And I'm so glad that you're coming because it's like perfectly what I want. This is a gift I want to give to everyone who's coming.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's going to be amazing and magical, and I'm really excited about it. So it's April 24th through the 27th,
Hmm.
and it is in Safford, Arizona.
Yeah.
So it is, you can fly into Tucson or Phoenix.
Yes.
And
And
if
if
you
you
fly
fly
into
into
Phoenix,
Phoenix,
right?
yeah, I think you catch a flight
Yeah.
to Stafford, and then my husband has agreed to be the taxi, so
Mhm.
he'll go pick up. Well, we only have 2 flights that come in every day, so it's not like he's gonna be back and forth.
Yeah.
And the flights are actually on sale right now. They're like $50 off
I saw
until
that you posted that.
February 28th, I think. So it's $102. But if you fly into Tucson, so Tucson's a smaller airport, which is why we love it,
Yeah.
and it's closer. So we're usually willing to pay extra to fly into Tucson, but flying into Phoenix is cheaper.
Yeah.
And then you buy the ticket to fly in Safford. So whether you fly into Safford or Tucson, it kind of ends up being the same,
Right.
like financially. Um, but if you come here, then you're here.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and it's a smaller plane, but my guys are like, it's like having your own private jet,
Yeah. Awesome.
right?
Very fancy.
Because there's no TSA here. You go and they put your luggage on and you get on the plane, and you actually go to Sky Harbor, which is the main airport. So, like, if you fly in, they'll come and get you and take you to where the plane is to fly here to Stafford. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Um, I really did not think we would have this in place in time for the retreat. There were 2 huge projects that were on the like list to get done. One was a downtown hotel, which that one has not happened yet. I'm so sad.
Ah,
Yeah, because our event is in our downtown, like our
yeah.
main street, but the airplane service did happen. So one out of two, one out of two, we'll take it. We'll
For
take
sure.
it. Yeah,
Yeah. So we'll have the link to sign up. You do have, there's space left,
we
right?
do have a few seats. We have a few seats. It's not a ton. We have a few seats left. We had a few people who canceled before the deadline, so we have a few seats available. Um, and I don't know. The closer I feel like it's tomorrow. Like
Yeah.
I think I
Gotta
had
come.
my online business manager. That's why I was like, I'll be right there. Let me make some tea because I was on a Zoom call with her because we're like tying up all the details and because I want it's about coming and learning. Absolutely. We're going to be doing stations. I don't want people to be stationary. We're going to have stations where you're going to be doing different things. But it's also about building community and being with like minded people
Mm.
who understand your joy of paper,
Yeah.
who understand, why you get excited when, you're able to pick up a paper egg carton because you can think of 5 things to do with it. Because, our families think we're crazy.
Oh, yeah.
And I've been to so many retreats, in my tenure in this niche. And I will tell you the relationships that I made in those spaces are ones that I still have today.
Yeah.
It's not a small thing.
So I think that's why you go. You go because it's fun and you get to put your hands in all the art products and all the things, but it really is, the relationship building is the best.
Yes, it's absolutely the best.
Mhm.
And um, I am excited to be able to facilitate this experience
Yeah.
because it's about I'm gonna tell you a secret. It's just a dorky secret. So I have a graphic designer.
Uh-huh.
And I have a graphic designer, right? And usually I can tell him, like, this is what I was thinking, and he'll come up with something fabulous. But he stepped out his own business now, and I think he's a little overextended. And so he made exactly what I asked him to make. He usually doesn't do that. And we were so close to, because I wanted to order all my stuff on Black Friday. Because I mean, everyone gets a fabric swag bag, and they're getting aprons, and they're getting paintbrushes, and like these are things that they get to keep and take home, like
Yeah.
And so that I settled for what he made for me for my graphic for the retreat, because everything's personalized,
Yeah.
and it's an avatar of me, and like now that I've had time to like rest with it, I'm like I'm having mixed emotions about it, because this retreat is not about me.
Yeah.
It is not about me. It is about the
We
people who are coming. Huh?
all get to come and hang out with you, though.
I know, but like, you know what I mean though? Like I'm looking at it and I'm like, this retreat is not about me. It's about everyone who is coming to bless me with their presence, who are trusting me. Like I'm such a crybaby.
Yeah.
Who are trusting me to come here to my hometown, right? Um, and
How
to
about you look
partake
at it
and
like
be
this,
part of
though?
this
Like,
experience.
you're you're the one bringing it all together, and so that image could be a positive.
I know it's fine, but it's just, if
Yeah.
I would have had more time, I probably would not have done that. But
Yeah.
um,
I
I
think
am
it's
super
gonna
excited, and I've been talking about it so much that I actually have my friend Trisha. She owns this gorgeous shop in town, and she just opened like an old-fashioned ice cream shop,
so fun.
right? And she's like, "Do I get to be in your swag bag?" Absolutely, girl. Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
IOD is a sponsor. They sent us a box of supplies to be able to use.
Amazing.
Um, Sunny from Would You Bend West is a sponsor, and so there'll be things, from Would You Bend or Posh and or Posh. I don't know what she's sending, in the swag bags, and so like it to me in my mind and in my heart, like it's this gift, right, that I
Yeah.
get to have the blessing to give, and I am insanely excited, and I'm so excited that we get to start off kind of, even if we don't eliminate the barriers that everyone sets up for themselves, we can at least like knock it down some,
Yeah.
so that people can really be primed to really experience all the fabulousness that we're going to do
And
together.
I know what she's doing, so we
I know. I don't want to tell it, because I know my people. They'll be like, "Oh, I could never."
Yeah, let me just tell
Yeah,
you, it's gonna be amazing.
yeah,
I'll just
we
say
could
that.
absolutely, we
Yeah.
could absolutely. So, I'm so excited. I can't wait for everyone to get here. Um, And like we said, Thursday night is for everyone. We're gonna have it it's gonna be like a meet and greet, and it's gonna be in the hotel lobby. So you can come in, drop your bag upstairs, come downstairs.
Yeah.
Everyone gets every person who's registered for the retreat gets 2 drink tickets. If you don't drink, you can give it to somebody else. It's fine. We're gonna have local wine, local craft beer there. We'll have charcuterie and food for you. Not like food, but like snacky foods.
Yeah.
The event motels, there's 2 of them, but they're like back to back, and there's a walkway in
Oh,
between.
cool.
So I really want everyone to stay at the event motels, because I know that that's the relationship building is not just at the event;
Right,
it's
right.
in those
In
other
your
spaces.
pajamas, it's good.
Yeah, yeah. And I get to facilitate that. Like, yeah, I'm
Good.
excited. I'm excited.
So there'll be a link in the show notes and then a link on YouTube so that you can check it out, go sign up, and do it now because it's going to sell out and you don't want to miss out on this.
It is. The only reason why we have seats are because we had some cancellations, like honestly. And I'm not like FOMO. I'm not like doing the whole thing. I don't want the space to be super crowded. I want people to be comfortable and be able to move around.
Right.
B, I'm kind of freaking out about being like available to 60 people.
Yeah.
Any
Right.
more than that would be like too much.
Right.
I want to be able to interact with everybody who comes,
Yeah.
right? And so we really are like 60 is a hard stop for the amount of seats that we have. And we only have a couple more seats because we had some cancellations. And so I don't know. I'm talking to my local vendors. All the food will be local restaurants,
Yeah.
I don't know. Our local artisan baker, she's gonna make us. She's like, I can make you, because her cinnamon rolls are like this big,
Oh my
so
God.
she's gonna make us like half sizes. Yeah. So we're like, it's gonna be what do you call the breakfast when you have like
Continental.
It's gonna be a continental breakfast, but it's still gonna be like it's gonna be a nice continental, not like a Safeway pastry that I put in a tray, not like that.
Well, we're gonna have so much fun. I cannot wait, and I just want to thank you for being here and giving your time. And just I think people hearing sometimes people think like, oh, she's got a big business, and they don't understand what it means and what it takes and what you actually have to go through. But what I think is so valuable and so important is you sharing that. No, I'm just like you.
Yes.
But I fail faster, or done is better than perfect. Like these are things that are really, really helpful
And
for
I have to ask for help. Like, Jane, I'm in your group.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because having a big business means that you're faced with big decisions all the time.
Yeah.
And I would love to say that I'm strong enough to just, fight my way through it all the time alone. But the reality is I have to ask for help. And, and I'm in another business group and I'm like, I got a mindset coach. Like I got help because, I'm not always able to make that shift on my own. And so I think it's important. Sometimes you look at someone who is successful and you have this perspective of like who they are and how they operate. But I don't care what level you're at. We
New
all
level, new devil. Yeah.
Yeah, right? Exactly. New level. Yes,
Uh-huh.
girl. Yeah.
Yeah, and we tend to look at other people's businesses, and that's where we start comparing, and although that must be super easy for her, right? And
Yeah.
it's not. We're all the same. We all do the same things to ourselves, and so I really appreciate you coming and speaking about this, because, and I do know you, and I know you on a level that many people don't know you on. And so that's why I knew that this would be the perfect month to have you on. Because
She knows I have control issues, you guys.
you said it, not me.
I know. It's fine. It's fine.
No.
It's fine. It is what it is. No, I appreciate you having me. I really do. And I'm so excited that you're coming. Like, honestly, when you asked to come, I was like, absolutely. Yes, please.
It's so funny. So here's how it happened. Royce was watching me live. I was doing some kind of art journaling thing. And she's like, I'm trying to decide something about a retreat. And I was like, can I come?
Yes,
she's like, as a matter of fact, this would be perfect. So yeah, you never know. So you never know. That's being open to opportunity and possibility, right?
Right. Because I feel like we all have when we talk about comparison, right? You'll say, oh, that must be really easy for her. But there's probably something that you're really good at that's super easy for you that's hard for me.
Yeah.
And so often we dismiss the things that we're really good at, but that's probably a really good clue into what your gift is. And it's probably something you didn't even think about because it's just easy for you.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's a whole other conversation.
No, it is. Yeah. So we're going to have you back.
Thank you, Jane, so much for having me.
Oh, thanks so much for being here. And so you can find Royce at roycycled.com.
Yes.
And on all social media platforms as
I'm Royce Cycled in all the places. Yeah. So yeah, you can find me at YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Pinterest.
Her TikTok. Great, you guys. Go to her TikToks.
Don't go there.
All right. Again, thank you so much for being here. And yeah, we'll talk to you soon.